Hey T-Squad, it's Kirsty. Today we're opening a case file on one of the most influential artists to ever touch a microphone. This is the complete life story of Tupac Shakur from the moment he came into the world to the final week that changed music forever. No myths, no shortcuts, just the real timeline. Let's get into it. Tupac wasn't born with the name we all know. He came into the world in Brooklyn as Lassane Parish Crooks, the son of a woman who was already fighting one of the biggest court cases in New York history. His mother, Afeni Shakur, was part of the Black Panther Party and was on trial with a group known as the Panther 21. She defended herself, while pregnant, and won. A few weeks later, her son was born. She later renamed him Tupac Amaru Shakur, inspired by a revolutionary who refused to back down to oppression. His childhood was shaped by political pressure, constant movement, and survival. Tupac spent his childhood bouncing between New York neighborhoods before his family moved to Baltimore. Baltimore turned out to be a major turning point. He joined the Baltimore School for the Arts, studied acting and poetry, performed Shakespeare, and connected with other young artists including Jada Pinkett. Even back then, he spoke with the intensity of someone twice his age. Money was tight, Afeni was struggling. Tupac saw shelters, instability, and the sharp edge of poverty up close. Those experiences would become the voice of his music later on. When he was a teenager, Tupac's family moved again, this time to Marin City in California. The contrast was extreme, wealthy areas nearby, while his community struggled day to day. He gravitated toward Oakland, where the energy and political roots of the city aligned with everything he'd grown up around. Tupac joined a local rap group called Strictly Dope, recorded early tracks, and developed the voice people would soon know worldwide. Tupac's first major industry moment came when he joined Digital Underground, not as a star, but as a backup dancer and roadie. He learned the business from the ground up. He later appeared on their track Same Song, and suddenly people were paying attention to the young rapper with the sharp voice and the sharper point of view. That led to his first solo album. Tupac released his first album, Tupacalypse Now, and it was nothing like what radio was used to. It wasn't party music. It wasn't glam. It was social issues, violence, poverty, police brutality, broken families. The album rattled politicians and put his name in headlines. He wasn't here to entertain, he was here to expose. His next album took him even higher. He gave the world I Get Around, a playful hit, and Keep Ya Head Up, a powerful message to Black women and single mothers. The range was wild fun in one moment, deep compassion the next. At the same time, his acting career took off. He became Bishop and Juice, starred alongside Janet Jackson in Poetic Justice, and delivered more roles in films that proved he was more than a rapper. But behind the scenes, trouble was growing. During the early 90s, Tupac was surrounded by fights, lawsuits, and dangerous drama. A serious case involving allegations in a hotel room led to a conviction for sexual abuse. He always said he didn't commit what he was accused of. Still, he was facing prison. Right before that, he was attacked in the lobby of Quad Studios in New York. He was robbed and shot multiple times. He survived, but the attack changed everything. Trust was gone, paranoia rose. Relationships in the industry were shattered. He soon began serving his sentence. While he was locked up, Tupac released Me Against the World, one of the most emotional albums of his life. Songs like Dear Mama and So Many Tears showed a man dealing with guilt, pain, and reflection. He made history as one of the only artists to top the charts while behind bars. But he didn't stay behind bars long. Someone important stepped in. Suge Knight arranged for Tupac's release and signed him to Death Row Records. This era moved fast. It was loud, intense, and dangerous. Tupac began recording non-stop. He teamed up with Dr. Dre for California Love, dropped more hits, and embraced the West Coast identity like a soldier going to war. Then he released a double album that would shake the world, California Love, How Do You Want It, Ambition's Azarita, two of America's Most Wanted. This era was Tupac at full speed, fame, pressure, enemies, reckless nights, and bigger-than-life moments. But he was also spiraling deeper into beefs, especially with people linked to the East Coast scene. And then came his darkest persona. Tupac created the name Makaveli, inspired by the political thinker Machiavelli. He read books about strategy, war, and power. When he recorded the album that would later be released under this name, the tone was darker, more symbolic, more paranoid. It felt like he was speaking from a place where he knew time was running out. On a night in Las Vegas, Tupac went to watch a boxing match with Suge Knight. After the fight, he and members of his group got into a physical fight with a man connected to a Los Angeles gang. Later that night, Tupac was in the passenger seat of a BMW with Suge driving. They stopped at a red light. A car pulled up beside them. Shots were fired. Tupac was hit multiple times. He was rushed to the hospital, fought through surgeries, and held on for several days, but his injuries were too severe. He passed away with people he trusted standing around him. He was only 25. The official investigation dragged on for years. Different theories came out: gang retaliation, industry, politics, hidden motives, internal betrayals. Everyone had a different story. For a long time, no one was charged. Then, decades later, a man named Dwayne "Kefe" D. Davis, connected to the same gang involved in the Vegas fight, publicly claimed he was in the car during the shooting. Those statements eventually led to his arrest. His court case is still active today, which means the story of Tupac's murder isn't finished. After Tupac passed, his Makaveli album dropped. More unreleased music followed. Documentaries, murals, books, tributes. The world couldn't let him go. He became a symbol. The poet, the fighter, the visionary, the flawed young man who tried to speak for people who felt voiceless. He lived fast, created nonstop, and left behind a cultural impact that will never fade. T-Squad, that's the full deep dive into the life of Tupac Shakur. Thank you for watching. And of course, like and subscribe. Keep sipping that tea.